Hello, this is Joe83, and this is episode 12 of the My Team Lotus career mode. And first things first, we've got a renewal contract to do. And as you probably expect, I'm not going to be renewing Louis Delatraz's contract because he's absolutely terrible. He's on 0 points. I'm on about 30 or something in the championship. I've lost count really. So yeah, we're going to be changing. I was trying to get someone like Russell or Norris or Gasly, but unfortunately didn't quite save up early enough. So I'm only on 5.2 million, which leaves me the choice of any F2 driver or Latifi, who is basically an F2 driver anyway. So I ended up going with Nick De Vries as my new teammate. He's a lot better than Delatraz was. I decided to lowball him as well, just 1.9 million, which means he's plenty in the bank to upgrade the facilities with, which I didn't do before Silverstone, but we will do pretty soon. He actually accepted the lowball offer as well, which is perfect. So yeah, new teammate for this race is Nick De Vries, the Dutchman, the F2 champion, who hopefully will do a better job than Delatraz will. And you can see the performance there. We are now 6th because we've got a major chassis upgrade for this race. So hopefully we can make that actually pay dividends and do some good results. Also new for Silverstone is a livery. I decided because it's a home race, both team and driver, I thought I'd go for something a bit different, make the green a bit darker, make the yellow more prominent. And yeah, I hope you like it. If you do, leave a comment, because I might use this for the rest of the season, to be honest. And I want your feedback on what we should do with that livery. If we should keep that, I'll go back to the original, which is a bit lighter and with more white involved. But yeah, Silverstone, my favourite track on the calendar, easily. And yeah, coming to track optimization, purple, obviously. One thing I didn't know before this weekend was just how OP the AI are at Silverstone, which is a tad annoying because, yeah, as I said, my favourite circuit. So in a normal circumstance, I would be able to do my best job here, especially with the car upgrades, which may be the 6th fastest. I'll be hoping to get into Q2, maybe in Q3. But especially in quali trim, the AI are ridiculous. So yeah, look forward to that in qualifying. But coming through practice, it was all quite simple, as it's a very high-speed circuit. The deltas are quite easy to get. So yeah, all 50 points there, which is going to help better the car even more. But straight into Q1 now, round 12, Silverstone British Grand Prix, and first up in Q1, it's going to be coming on Vale now, missing Apex slightly, and then all over the curves on there, which is not going to help at the exit at all. It's going to get not the power down that we want to get, and now coming across the line, it's a 26.2, which is pretty bad. You can see De Vries, my new teammate, is 1.2 seconds clear, which is obviously not ideal. But yeah, coming on to my final lap in Q1, coming through the loop now with already a 10th and a half up, but I need to be finding 1.2 seconds because at the minute De Vries is in 16th. So it's like in order to get out of Q1, we need to find 1.2 seconds on this lap. We've got a good start. We're already 3 tenths up, 3.5 tenths up now, coming towards Brooklands. But really, I was pushing as hard as I could. This felt like a really decent lap. Yeah, coming around Woodcut now, out onto the old pit straight towards Cops is such a good circuit to drive. I do love this place a load. But you can see still only 3 tenths up, which is not what we want to see. Through Cops, fully flat out. The commitment is really high through there. It's a really good corner to try and go through. But now coming up to 4 tenths up through the nicest section on the entire calendar, Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel downshifting to 7th, and then 6th and 5th for the third part of the corner, and the 4th part obviously fully flat out onto the hangar straight. And you can see on the top left we're 7 tenths off Kimi Raikkonen, who's 18th. So there's not a chance for getting out of Q1 unless we take Stowe flat, which is pretty much what I'm going to try and do almost. Absolutely track extending into next year. But yeah, I was trying everything to try and get out of Q1 because the car is really capable of doing it. And unfortunately, I've been absolutely shown up by the AI. So coming around the final corner, I lost a bit of time there last time. So it's going to be a 7/10 improvement. But it's only 21st on the grid. I was so shocked as to what I could do to try and avoid this happening consistently, because the AI were insane. It's a 23.5 for Bottas and Hamilton. This is only on 106 AI. De Vries actually got limited as well. Luckily, my saving grace is that it's a mixed conditions race. So full wet at the start, going into intermediates, and then dries right at the end. And if we can be able to capitalise on that, because the AI are weaker in the wet, then we might still have a chance of a decent result. We're coming to 5 red lights now for the Silverstone British Grand Prix. And it's a long haul, but away from the back row, and it looks like a fairly decent start compared to Norris. There's 3 Brits in the back 4, which is not what you want to see, but we're already overtaken 2 of them with Russell and Norris on the other side, and that's Giovinazzi, it's Raikkonen as well, sorry. And it's going to be 4 wide briefly onto turn 1, and I think there's contact, definitely, but I managed to get away with it, and we're already all over our teammate Nick De Vries, going to send one down the inside of my new teammate, trying to assert the dominance as a team manager, and Grosjean's also going to turn in massively on me, almost losing the back end there, but not quite. That's going to allow the second house at Magnussen to challenge me down towards the Wellington straight. But we're going to get a good exit, maybe challenging Grosjean down the back straight. But he's parking on the apex of the turn 5, and that's not ideal for me. But yeah, Magnussen's not going to have a chance down towards the next corner, but underfueling a lot. So we've got a very light car at the minute compared to the rest of the field, turning in on Magnussen there. And 16th place, it's up 5 places on the first half of the lap. Maybe thinking about running outside Grosjean in Brooklands as well, trying to look for the grip that's there. And through Woodcut on the exit, Grosjean's forcing me over those curbs, and we're just about done him. It looks like on the exit, it's decent onto the old pit straight. Trying just not to aquaplane because it's so hard in these conditions. First time I've even driven in the heavy rain on this game, so yeah, playing it very much by ear. And Grosjean's wheel-to-wheel contact me off the track there. Again, more contact, and Magnussen's going to come past as well, is he? Down the outside in towards Magnus and Beckett's, and Magnussen being very forceful, as you would expect from the driver, and around the outside of this next right-hander, just about forcing him over those curbs and taking that position up into 16th place again. But Grosjean has broken away a little bit already, and De Vries doing a solid job in 18th in a minute. But you can see the first few drivers, Hamilton and Vettel, I think it was, have pitted for Inters already on lap 4. This is well, they've pit on lap 3, but we've still got Magnussen all over my back end down towards the loop section, turn 4 and 5. And third gear for this one, just trying to get the traction, but not quite there. Sliding a little bit an exit on traction and through the loop now, and Magnussen's looking at the inside, but we're just going to hold it. But with those front runners pitting, it's definitely time for intermediates, probably, because yeah, the AI don't do stupid calls that often in terms of when to change. And asking Jeff, he says it's time to change the tyres, so we're going to listen to him, pit in fully intermediates, and really try and make the dividends in this strategy, because De Vries has actually overtaken Magnussen during this lap. So that's really helpful for me. He's got us a bit of a gap, and you can see every single one of the AIs in the pits pretty much, apart from my teammate De Vries, who's having to go up a bit longer, so I might have screwed my strategy a bit there, unfortunately, for my new teammate. But yeah, coming into the pit lane in this British Racing Green Lotus car, that's a very nice T-cam compared to the old one, I think. And yeah, coming down towards my box, hopefully we can get a good pit stop. The team have been pretty decent from stops, considering they're a brand new team. A very busy pit lane as well, so we've got to be very careful in when we're letting out. Right at the end of the pit lane now, slowest pit lane on the calendar as well, 2.5 seconds, and we've actually jumped Kvyat there in the AlphaTauri, so that's very helpful. And we're up 1 net position, although still a few drivers are on the wets, so it's not actually 19th place, luckily. We will be a little bit higher, but Grosjean is still the car ahead of me in terms of net position, so we've got to try and close down on him and make a move on the Frenchman in his Haas. But at this point, points are looking a bit unlikely, really, as we come out through turn 1 again. De Vries, my teammate, is coming out of the pits, and he's still actually behind me, but he's also behind Kvyat now as well. So unfortunately, he lost the place, or maybe Kvyat didn't know. I just overtook Kvyat actually, so De Vries is still in the same position. But I'm up 1 through that pit stop window, so that's pretty good. And now Giovinazzi actually had a problem, Jeff was telling me earlier in the race. So yeah, he's got some sort of mechanical issue, but Grosjean can't overtake him, and that's allowed me to catch up to both of them. And you can see on the minimap, a lot of the AI just there, really. So points could be on the cards if my pace is good enough, but I'd be interested to see how we actually do, because in the intermediates, I'm usually stronger than the AI, but if it gets dry, then I might not. I might be left for dead a bit. But through turn 1, try to close in on Grosjean and Giovinazzi into this first section. Grosjean, is he going to go for a move on Giovinazzi? No, he isn't. And this passivity from Grosjean is really allowing me to close up, because Giovinazzi is going a lot slower than I am. Grosjean usually would be able to pull away in these conditions, but not on this occasion, because he's really being hemmed in by Giovinazzi quite a lot. And now down to Wellington straight, could we make something happen here using plenty of rich and overtake mode? We've saved almost all the fuel back now, but through Brooklands, not close enough for a move. But as we saw on lap 1, actually, might be able to hook one around the outside if we can be confident enough on the brakes and try to send the car. Grosjean's blocking it very carefully there. He's actually also going to go over those curbs, losing a lot of speed on the exit, and that's allowing me to go fully around the outside of Romain Grosjean and down towards Copse. We've got that move done, it looks like, and now I've got to focus the target on Giovinazzi to try and make the move on him as well. So 1 lap later, I'm in the very same position. It's through this turn 3 and 4 section, and Giovinazzi just ahead of me through the loop and down into second gear, hitting his back end as well. So my front wing's doing very well to stay intact with all this contact that he's happening. But you can see Kvyat is starting to close up as well, and it's still De Vries is a little bit dropping back behind Kvyat. But more importantly, the move on Giovinazzi is definitely on. But he's going to go defensive into Brooklyn, so I can't go down the inside there in these conditions. Down to 4th gear, and we're going to try and hook one up around the outside once again, as we did on the previous lap, and maybe the traction out of here could be good enough to challenge Giovinazzi, but he's going to get very aggressive on the exit and almost forcing over the curbs there, losing a bit of traction, and Giovinazzi is going to just about hold that in his absolute bullet of an Alfa Romeo, because that car is so fast in a straight line. And through Copse now, I can't make anything happen here. High speed right-hander, no chance in the wet especially, and it's going to allow Grosjean to get a good exit, and he's going to go down the inside into Maggotts and Beckett's, which is not what I want to see. Don't want to run travel outside through here, so we're going to allow Grosjean to take that place. Meanwhile, Hampton sets the fastest lap, absolute miles clear by the looks of it, and with Bottas quite close to him. They're well ahead of me, definitely. And now down to the Hunger Straight, though, we're going to try and hook one back on Grosjean down towards Stowe, and overtake mode rich mix, and we're definitely close enough in a percent here. We're going to brake late, nice and aggressive there, and just about down the inside of Grosjean, making a lot of contact, but he sort of did turn it on me there, and then didn't really stop turning it on me there. My front wing absolutely fine still, so very robust. The front end of this car today for some reason. Now 1 lap later, lap 14, we're going to try to do the same move once again on Giovinazzi, and this time leaving a bit more space on the inside, so he can't really we weren't alongside those, so once again the move not coming off. Giovinazzi proving quite difficult to pass compared to Grosjean, and now a lot of oversteer out of the loop there. That was not ideal. And down towards the same section again, Grosjean and Kvyat have now closed up to the back of this train of Giovinazzi, who I think still has some kind of issues, but it's not happening too badly, and he's still defending very well, to be fair to him. But round the outside again, a carbon copy move. Can we make it work for the at the 4th time of asking, and round the outside, and just about looks like it on the exit, trying to use overtake mode and rich mix to force him over that inside curb, and yeah, that made the move into Copse, or down towards Copse, well ahead, and the 7th gear for this corner, and try to pull away as quickly as possible, because he's going to start holding up Grosjean probably once again. And actually a few hours later, a lot of the AI started pinging again for Inters, including Albon, you can see up ahead, and I think Sainz and the Racing Points did as well. So yeah, very strange, because as we know from the start, it was going to dry up. And right now it's actually stopped raining. You can hear Jeff on the radio there telling me it's good to stick with the tyres for now. But it's definitely close to the crossover point just a few laps later. So those AI who've done an extra stop for Inters are going to be absolutely screwed, because it's such a long pit lane. It's about 35 seconds. So there's no way they're going to make the time up, and they'll pretty much lose all the track position that they had. But a lap later, we are going to pit for the dry tyres as the rain has stopped completely. DRS has been enabled, so yeah, into the pit lane once again. And my teammate De Vries is going to get a little bit screwed by me once again in the strategy, but what can you do? I had the track position, so yeah, unlucky Nick. But coming into the pit lane, Giovinazzi I think fixed his issues, so he's all over me again in that Alfa Romeo, which I think is faster at this circuit than me. So that's a bit unfortunate. A few cars are actually staying out. Sainz and both Racing Points on those fresh Inters are going to stay out for at least one more lap, but it's definitely time for dries. A 1.8 second pit stop, by the way. That is ridiculous from the Lotus boys, and look how much we gapped Giovinazzi compared to what it was when we started the pit lane. But yeah, we're rejoining in 14th place, but a few more cars in the pits. And we're actually in the points, setting a pole final sector for good measure. We've got a little bit of a gap on Giovinazzi thanks to that amazingly rapid pit stop, which is probably going to win every DHL award ever. And now coming through the loop on the first flying lap on these tyres. And actually it's a yellow flag. Max Verstappen is off the right hand side of the track there. He's out of the race, and that's a safety car deployed. So that's another position, a car who's ahead of me. You can see Stroll also was ahead of me on Inter still. So by the end of the safety car, everyone obviously pit for dries. And I'm up to 8th place from absolutely nothing, from being, 15th all race. We're now in the points with my teammate De Vries in 10th, so we could be looking at double points finish here with only 4 laps remaining. But obviously a lot of fighting to do, and Alex Albon has absolutely dropped me straight away, and Giovinazzi is one to keep an eye on, absolutely, because he's, yeah, as I said, got that ridiculously straight line speed OP Alfa Romeo that I've got to try and keep behind for 4 laps. But actually we did that quite comfortably, and now Gasly and Ocon were in 2nd and 4th, I think, and Ocon now is battling with Vettel and Albon and really holding them up. I didn't mention it, but Gasly and Ocon, yeah, absolutely nailed their strategies and ended up really fighting with the front runners. But now they've started to drop back, so the top 3 have gone, of the 2 Mercedes and Leclerc. Vettel's now got past Ocon, he's set his sights on Gasly, but Albon's going inside of Ocon, so can I try and pick up the pieces here if anything goes wrong? And 4th gear for Brooklyn's trying to keep it nice and clean, a tight line on the entry, and we're going to try this move once again. We tried it a lot in the wet, can we try it in the dry as well? And running outside of Esteban Ocon, the Frenchman in his Renault, who really seems to be struggling on this restart, and we're side by side now down towards Copse. This is going to get very dangerous if I don't back out. We're going to try and stick it in there, see what happens, and running outside Copse can make this one work side by side in the highest speed corner on the track, and that is a lovely move right around the outside of Ocon. I was so happy with that when I did it, and Giovinazzi's actually followed me through, so they're going to be wheel to wheel now through Maggotts and Beckett's. And really, if they can fight as much as possible, that'll help me out, because yeah, the more they fight, the less likely it is they're going to catch me. But Giovinazzi has unfortunately got through into 8th place once again, and now the very last lap through the same corner, my exit has not been brilliant. Giovinazzi's got all of his ERS to burn, I assume, and he's going to go flying down the outside, down towards Copse, trying the same move that I did on him and trying to force over the curves, but it's not been successful at all. And Giovinazzi taking that place with relative ease, unfortunately up into 7th place, so I'm down to 8th. But Nick De Vries, my teammate, is doing an absolute job has got into ninth somehow, and yeah, he's going to run a final few corners. He's managed to stay there. He's got an absolute train behind him, but yeah, on his debut race, Nick de Vries is finishing ninth, which is amazing, but I'm meanwhile going to finish 8th place, pick up 4 points for the championship, and it's the first ever double points finish for Lotus with Nick de Vries in 9th place, and I'm absolutely delighted with that. I'm happier for Nick than I am for myself, I think, although I did get driver of the day, so that makes me happy as well. And yeah, on to results. It was a Valtteri Bottas win again, the championship leader. Hamilton doing a 3-stop, getting the fastest lap in 3rd, and myself and Nick de Vries 8th and 9th, which is the most important thing, really. And from 17th and 19th on the grid, which is a little bit ridiculous, really, Verstappen and no one else actually not finishing. But up into 9th in the championship, Giovinazzi still doing absolutely amazingly in 8th, even though he's only about 4 good results, but I don't know how he's doing it. Meanwhile, Nick de Vries going from last up to 19th, already outscoring Delatraz, so it seems like a decision well made there from me. Well done to myself, and up into 8th in the championship. And with 2-point scoring drivers, we might actually have a chance of doing a bit better than 8th, to be honest. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the rest of the season. But de Vries, very good start from him. And that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been JM83, and I will see you next time.